Episode 2 of the amazing digital Circus just got released, and there is much to talk about. But one apparent thing in the episode was Gummigoo. A funny thing is, Gooseworks actually hinted towards Gummigoo being a character that we wouldn't be ready for. A fan on Tumblr asked a question: which new character is the audience going to be least ready for? And Gooseworks' reply was Gummigoo. But as we all saw in the episode, Gummigoo was turned into confetti, but I actually think he will come back because Gummigoo wasn't an NPC. So here is my theory on Gummigoo coming back. Before the adventure starts, Kane introduces them to the new adventure called Candy Carrier Chaos.
Today's adventure is Candy Carrier Chaos! That's right, the Candy Canyon Kingdom's been robbed of their most valuable resource, maple syrup! It's up to you to bring the rotten bandits who stole it to sweet, buttery justice!
And as we all predicted, Zooble didn't have any part of the adventure and just didn't participate at all.
Nope.
But an interesting thing happens right after Zooble declines. Because Kane says that he's testing out a new AI.
Zooble, wait! I'm testing out a new AI in this one! It should be 57 times more immersive!
Ooh, a new AI. You don't want to mess with the new AI, Zuby?
Yeah, no.
And we most definitely knew that it was Gummigoo, since he was shown throughout the teasers and trailers to be the villain of the Candy Canyon Kingdom. But from just this interaction between Zooble and Kane, I think they've been on an adventure with AI villains before, because Kane said that it should be 57 times more immersive.
Zooble, wait! I'm testing out a new AI in this one! It should be 57 times more immersive!
Ooh, a new AI. You don't want to mess with the new AI, Zuby?
So this isn't actually the first time with AI, but let's get more into Gummigoo. The first scene we see with Gummigoo is exactly what the trailer for episode 2 has shown us. We see Gummigoo looking from his binoculars at the kingdom to see whether someone comes to retrieve the maple syrup or not. And of course, the circus members are driving with full throttle towards Gummigoo, Max and Chad. Speaking of Max and Chad, they are just sitting behind Gummigoo and peeling each of their eggs. But we actually get a very interesting conversation between all of them.
Do you think your mum's gonna pull through if we get all this back to the village?
I'm sure she will. This much syrup would save hundreds of people.
We won't know for sure until we get back to the village. She's a fighter, though. She taught me everything I know.
From just this conversation, we see some heavy AI, emotional and complex facial expression from Gummigoo when he talks about his mother. At first, it's a worried look about getting the maple syrup back to their village so they can save the people there. Then, when Gummigoo talks about his mother being a fighter, we see him having a serious, hopeful and happy look. Very complex emotional development from just this little scene. Even though Kane made Gummigoo explode and presumably die, I still think Gummigoo will come back because he is AI. And what is AI? It's artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence constantly learns and adapts, and we know that Gummigoo was 57 times better than the previous AI. So what would stop him from coming back? Well, you probably think he's out of the picture since he exploded, but I don't think he's completely gone. Gummigoo's physical appearance might be gone, but I think his consciousness is still in the universe and it's constantly learning and learning, something that even Kane can't detect. And imagine how much he will develop since his consciousness is still out there. My theory might be stretchy, but let's just look at the scene where Gummigoo and Pomni falls down into the back rooms.
What?
Hello?
Logically, I think all NPCs and very early AI entities wouldn't actually move when they fall down into the back rooms, simply because their programming and brain would stop. But Gummigoo proceeded to explore, even though this place was an entirely new place that wasn't even in his programming. Throughout his walk, he probably developed so much, thinking out of the box, something that an NPC and early AI would never do. This actually supports my theory about him still being in the universe, but just not having a physical body yet. But let's analyze further. When he gets into the room where all the designs are, we again see some emotional complex. He went from being scared to having hope. We can see that on his facial expression because he thought that he found someone else, but it was the designs of all the characters in the Candy Canyon Kingdom. His whole reality just changed because of a glitch in the game. His whole perception of the world shattered in that moment because that is when he knew that he didn't really have an importance at all, practically just for one purpose, and that is to be defeated by the heroes of the Candy Canyon Kingdom.
Huh?
Where are we? What's all this?
I don't know. We're somewhere under the map, I think.
Map? Why aren't you or any of your crew up here?
I'm not sure. Because we're not, NPCs?
NPCs? What are you on about? What are you people? What am I?
Now, another reason I believe Gummigoo will come back is because he's a really important character. If we're speaking in terms of development of the digital circus, I strongly believe that might have some sort of revolutionary breakthrough. And what do I mean with that? I simply mean that him being an AI that has learnt so much in that short period of time, and with Pomni telling him things from the outside world, I think his whole learning capabilities has gone through the roof, so what is to stop him from coming back? I don't think Kane could even match up to the potential of Gummigoo, since Kane is either a human with admin access or just a very, very complex NPC. So when do I think Gummigoo will come back? And what will happen if he comes back? Well, I don't think he will be back in episode 3 or 4 because then the character development wouldn't have developed so much. And it is also just too early for him to come back. We saw how devastated Pomni was when Kane made Gummigoo explode into oblivion.
I gotta get used to this.
Oh, looks like one of these guys made it through.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
I know you guys love your NPCs, but if I start losing track of who's a human and who's an NPC, who knows what could happen?
So him returning now wouldn't have that big of an impact on the show as if he returned later, because that is when Pomni is settled in with the characters and the space, and that is where it would actually be impactful for Gummigoo to come back. So give it 3 or 4 more episodes and we might potentially see a comeback of Gummigoo. But what would Gummigoo do in the meantime? I did already theorize on him learning about the universe, but I actually also think that he might think of ways to escape the amazing digital circus, because we know Pomni told him about the outside world. And wouldn't anyone upon hearing this be curious on exploring the outside world? It would just be like someone told you about teleportation and that they have experienced it. Wouldn't you want to try teleportation for yourself? But before he actually cracks the code, I believe that he will come back for all the circus members and especially Pomni, because he would probably have a flashback to when Pomni befriended him and actually gave him purpose and a will to live in the circus.
How does this benefit you at all?
I guess I just don't want you to feel like you're nothing. I don't want anybody to feel like that.
But I'm not even a real person. Would I even belong?
I'm sure you wouldn't belong any less than me. And I could use a friend.
A friend? You're a strange little character.
That is when stuff will get interesting in the circus, because now Kane has a problem. We know that Kane won't tolerate anyone leaving the circus because he's insane. He wants to have control over all the things. So, with the face of Gummigoo, who's an AI he himself created, and the potential to escape the game, Kane will be furious and come up with some sort of plan. A contingency plan for when they find a way out. What I think will happen is that he will release all the abstracted characters into the circus, because we know that the abstracted characters will do anything and destroy whatever is in their path. That is when an epic fight or escape scene will happen in the amazing digital circus. But with Gummigoo's mindset, I don't think that he will come alone. He is best friends with Max and Chad, and even though he said that they shouldn't be told any of this, I think he will in time.
All I ask is that we don't tell the lads about this. They're a couple of bright-eyed yobbos, and I don't want to drag them down with me.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's your name, by the way?
Gummigoo.
He wants them to have a purpose in life and not just sit around and do the same thing over and over. So a giant breakthrough will happen. We might even get to see Princess Lulalu again because she was shown to be an important character in the trailer and teasers. But she just turned out to be a lesser character in the adventure that they had in the Candy Canyon Kingdom. But something that excites me most about my theories is the reunion of Gummigoo and Pomni. We know Pomni haven't really befriended the circus members in a serious level, but we did see it with Gummigoo. She actually wanted to help him and be his first non-programmed friend. But at the end of episode 2, we also saw a huge character development for Pomni because she realized that she wasn't alone in the circus. She had the circus members. As you know, anything is possible in the universe. So, any theory is possible. But let me know down in the comments what you think about my theory and if you have a theory yourself. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and click on this video here.